Hello, my awesome project managers, those of you getting ready for the PMP exam. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's been hitting my email box all this week. It's the question of, should I use this or should I use this? The guy on the screen looks confused. He's more confused than a chameleon in a bag of Skittles. I can understand. You see, the confusion comes from the fact that there's so much information out there that it takes an experienced instructor to be able to focus you in the right direction. So today, I'm going to share with you a number of things, the why you should stick to certain aspects of the Agile Practice Guide over the 7th edition, and why you should stick to certain aspects of the PMBOK Guide 6th edition over the 7th edition. So the running topic has been, how do I study for an exam that has a syllabus all over the place? Well, the syllabus, if you go to the PMP exam content outline, which I'm about to bring up, you'll find out that the content outline puts everything in one place, the content outline. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. And those of you who have not downloaded the outline, you should. It's free. Let's bring it up right here. Here's the content outline. The PMP exam is not based on a PMBOK guide. You see, it is based on the content outline right here. You see, this is the PMP exam content outline. It's broken down into people, process, and business. The people domain, very straightforward. It's all about people connected type stuff like managing conflict, leading a team, supporting team performance, so on and so forth, as you can see here. Now, if you scroll down, you get into process. Process has more tasks than the people domain, and then you've got business. But one of the questions is, how do we weave it all together? So let me show you that real quick on the screen here. I'm going to give you a link when you get done so that you can go take a look a little bit more at this breakdown. But for each one of these tasks, there's a correlation to the PMBOK Guide 6th edition and the Agile Practice Guide that I have for you over here. So I'm going to go over this with you really quick. Task 1, managing conflict. You see this is covered quite well in Manage Team. It's also covered in chapters 4 and 5 in the Agile Practice Guide. I would not recommend focusing on the 7th edition. The reason is the 7th edition does not do a very good job in grounding you to the project management language, the lingo, the basics. It does a very poor job. Now, if you already have knowledge about project management and previous editions, then this is going to be an easy read for you. It's kind of like a loose leaf addendum to the 6th, if you will. But it does a very poor job in getting you to understand the why, the what, the how, the basics of project management. This, on the flip side, goes into excruciating detail. In fact, it's so much detail. If you really want to study for the exam, my friends, after you've understood the basics, I would not recommend reading books such as the 7th, the 6th, and even the APG to pass the exam. I would ask that you study the outline in an agnostic way to better understand the nuts and bolts of these concepts, because you could read chapter 9 and chapter 10 all day long and not really get the essence. You see, there's an essence about the PMP exam and the content. And that's why a lot of people today, they tell you, I didn't read this book, I didn't read the 6th, I didn't read the 7th, and I still passed the exam. It's absolutely doable, but you need to get the mantra. You need to understand the nuts and bolts and the ideas behind each one of these tasks. So what I've done for you here is I've gone through each one of the domains, and I have, as you can see on the screen, corresponding chapters and sections in the 6th edition and in the Agile Practice Guide that can help you. Now, I'm not going to go over every single one. I'll put a link in the chat so that you can just go look yourself on our website. We've actually got a link here. It's projectmanagementdoctor.com/40-day plan. And the reason why it's titled this is it's actually from our book, the PMP exam Immersion. We have a plan so that those studying for the exam can use this book broken down into people, process, and business, going into every single task, so you can use that to study for your test. All right, so here we have Manage Team, basically chapter 9 and 9.4, 9.5 in a lot of places. We have chapter 12, 13. You can see the breakdown, okay? Look for the link below. Go there, take a look at it, study it all you need, and use that as you're getting ready for the exam. If you want to make some references to the PMBOK guide or to the Agile Practice Guide, this will help you. It will help you put things in context and see things as they are. Okay? Again, that link, I'm going to put that below. When you go to the link, you'll see everything that I've shared here on the screen. Just not as colorful, but it's all there, right? It's called the PMP Exam Immersion Study Plan. Look at the breakdown, and this could help you. Now, on the left-hand side, we have the days. Each item is a day. And the intent is that using this book, PMP Exam Immersion, you can go through a chapter a day consistently for 40 days, finish your studying for the PMP exam, take the exam, and ace the exam. Days 36 down to the bottom, it has guidance about how to cover the mock exam in the book and how to take the final 180 question mock exam if you're signed up for our PMP Exam Immersion course. All right, but the bottom line, my friends, to give you guidance on how you can study the 6th edition and the Agile Practice Guide against each one of these domains and tasks, I would recommend looking at this. Okay, so let me just explain one of the more obvious ones through. Manage conflict is talked about under Manage Team. This is where you have the 5 approaches to resolving conflict explained in great detail. Now, if you go into the Agile Practice Guide in chapters 4 and 5, you also begin to learn ideas about servant leadership, about the social contract, and how all of those help in the mindset for resolving conflict. That's just one example. Now, if you go through every line item, as you read through the content, you'll find references to each of these places. Let me give you another one. So this is all about managing procurement. Well, on page 77, you have the breakdown of the contract types from an Agile perspective. On page 95, you have the breakdown of procurement from an Agile perspective. You see where this is going? So I have PMBOK 6, Agile Practice Guide, corresponding sections, chapters. Knock yourself out on this, my friends. I know this will help you. It is really going to help a lot of you. I know some people are struggling, really struggling with this and wondering, how do I make sense of this crazy syllabus? It's all over the place. Well, the way to make sense of it, my friends, is just that. Now, I'm going to zoom in for a moment here so that you've got a very good picture of the details. Let's go to the right, and I'm going to zoom in. So there's quite a lot of detail for you to cover, as you can see. Okay, so much stuff, I cannot go over every single piece here, but at a very high level, you get the picture, right? See all of that? That's what I need you to go sit down, look at, read, understand, especially those of you who have gone through the Immersion course. This is something that I'm expecting you to do. All right? Now, before I go, there's one more thing I want to make really crystal clear. And to do this, we need to look at some specifics because I really want to make it crystal clear. If you're getting ready for the PMP exam, Give me a second here. I'm going to go get my arsenal to make this absolutely crystal clear. Hold on. All right. So I wanted to make it perfectly clear that I am recommending you read the Agile Practice Guide. And if you needed to make any minor references, I'm not saying read the whole of this thing like a crazy person. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you need to make references to specific chapters or sections, then you could use this in conjunction with this. I'm not saying read the whole thing like, crazy. No, don't do that. If you want to get a good handle of this, in the link that I've put, look for my 49 processes video to rapidly cover all 49 processes in 30 minutes. There's really no need for you to be reading all 756 pages of this book in 2022. It's just not worth it compared to the output you're going to get. However, if you need a reference, it's this. Not this. This is all well and good, but my preference for you will be to focus on a book that gives you more clarity. And of course, when we talk about Agile, the payoff is huge when you understand what is in the Agile Practice Guide. Regarding the 7th edition, I would recommend you watch my videos about the 7th edition as opposed to wasting time reading yet another guide. All right, so look for the video that I have. It's about an hour and a half or 2 hours for the 7th edition. Other than that, I do not recommend reading it because it is, for you, it will probably be a big distraction and probably add confusion. You would not have very clear direction about where to focus. Like you see how I was able to use the 6th edition to kind of go through everything and give you places to look at. You couldn't do that with the 7th. Moreover, for those of you who are just stock beginners, I would recommend this book. It's called Project Management Layman's Guide. You can get this on Amazon. It's a very lightweight book, just about 100 and something pages with 50 questions. This is a great beginner book for anyone who is just getting into the world of project management and is trying to get the language around the 7th edition straight. This is what I would recommend. And then for those of you who have read the 6th edition, the Agile Practice Guide, but it's not coming together for you enough, you need to be either in my Immersion training starting next week, or just look for subsequent trainings. They're usually on Sunday. They're usually 4 hours. It's a 4-hour immersion, but we go through all the content. You see, this is a pretty big book, right? In full color. This is a big book. You can get this book, a PDF of it, where we're covering domain by domain, going in depth, and it's not boring. It's actually an interesting book, and you can actually have your Microsoft Edge. If you've got Microsoft Edge, you can have Microsoft Edge read this book to you. Bring it up on Edge and just hit read, and it's going to read it to you. I've actually demoed this previously on this channel, how you can have 12 hours of studying just by bringing up Edge. Let me show you how that works. So here's Edge, and if I ask this book to be read to me using Edge, all I need to do is cue it, hit that icon. It's going to think for a while, and then you'll have the option of choosing various voices to read to you. So if you got Microsoft Edge, and there you go.
Conversation and observation of the learners. During the knowledge sharing event or training, these questions should be addressed. What is in it for me? How could we chunk content? How could we draw upon prior knowledge to make this simpler? How can we align content with real-life job roles for practice?
Could we provide action plans to retain and improve training? After knowledge sharing or training to maintain knowledge transfer, supplement with social learning outside of the event. Provide refresher courses. Arrange follow-up sessions. Create opportunities for practice. Practice. In closing out this section, be aware that there are two types of knowledge: explicit knowledge, This type of knowledge can be readily documented
and codified by using words, pictures, and numbers. Tacit knowledge. This is knowledge that is hard to express.
Express. This is what we know in our minds, for example playing the piano, riding a bike, driving a car, hitting a nail with a hammer. You know, that feeling you have been there before, and it all starts coming back to you. Those feelings, purchased by customer on 112. Agile thinking cap for building a team. When building a team from the start, we generally want to build a team with all the necessary players.
We must remember that the team members are human beings, and it takes time to form a team. There is a model that you are probably familiar with already, the Tuckman model of forming a team,
forming, storming, norming, and performing.
All right, my friends, well, you get the idea, okay? So if this is something that would help you, you need to go on down to that link that I've shared, or just go to Praizion. You see the spelling up there? If you go to Praizion.com, you'll be able to find the book right there on our homepage, all right? So go on down to Praizion.com, and right there. If you go to Praizion.com, take you to this homepage, scroll down, look for that red book. That's it right there, PMP Exam Immersion. And just click on it, and boom, you'll be able to follow through and get an instant download and begin a step-by-step journey in 40 days, my friends. If you really hone in, the book is so deep and detailed. It has stories about the world of Agile from my buddy Roy. It has stories from the world of predictive and hybrid from me. Going into this book will help solidify your understanding. It will enrich your prep. So I highly recommend. It's called PMP Exam Immersion. But anyway, the study guide, again, if you are interested in it, just look for the link, and you can use this as your study guide, as a way of you combing through the plethora of topics. There's so many topics, right, that it has to be put in a way that you know where everything is. All right, so shout out to Vicky, my PMP exam graduate, who got certified at the age of 70. She said, Phil, you know, it would be nice if we could have some of the processes next to the tasks so people know how to navigate it. And that's exactly what I've done. So Vicky, thanks to you. Thanks everyone. I hope you found this useful. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends. Take care and bye for now.